So hello guys, welcome to the new video, and in this video we'll be talking about our fifth constraint, which is a default constraint. So the as the word default suggests, there should be need to be a default value when user doesn't input anything. For example, if somebody doesn't put a date, there should be a default date which matches to the system date whenever user input it into the database. So let's hop into our default slide. So in default, it helps us to set a default value for a column. A default value could be anything. For example, if I have a company based in, for example, San Francisco or in California, I can make sure that the uh, city or the state is California, right? I'm not very good at geography, but I'll make sure that if a company is based on a city named A, so I will make sure that the city mentioned in the employees, if they are native place of there, it should be default as A. But this is not used. This is like a common example I'm telling. This is not used in real case scenario. In real case scenario, mostly dates are used to get a default date, because not every time so everybody knows how to enter the date format, and not every time it is required. And you can use this get date to, you can know that okay, the insertion was done at this date into the database. This also helps you in this thing. So let's hop into our Visual Studio. As you have seen, I have selected our database student details, which we have been working on past few days. So now I'll create another table. Create table employee with an employee with a single E. I'll create a empid. I will create it as an int. We will use our primary key constraint here. Constraint pk underscore empid. Primary key, as it is a primary key, we don't have to pass a not null constraint here. Now I'll create a emp name, which is a varchar 20. Let's go. You can't take any value here, which is a varchar 20. And now I will create a date constraint. To create a date constraint, you might be thinking, what is the data type should be passed? As it is a date, in SQL there is a specific data type which is date. So if I pass it, as you can see, it turns blue, it means it's right. And to pass it as a constraint, you can write it as default here. You don't need to pass any nickname. I haven't seen anybody using nickname, so I also don't use it. So default, I have to make sure that it gets the system date. So to get the system date, it is called as get date. This method gets the date of my system. For example, here it is 2013 or 2014. It will get the same date when this value is left empty. And if I want to make one more changes, I can make it as a not null also. Not null will be discussed, and it will be a very short video after next one, after this video. So as you can see here, I have created a default value. I can create a default value for this employee name also, but it is not preferred. Date are mostly used to get a default value, because as I have told earlier, you can get a knowledge of when the data was inputted inside the database. So if I will run this table and create it, see, it got created successfully, and I have an employee table with a single E. So as you have seen how the default works, it's just input a default value. It could be anything as you want, but mostly dates are preferred as what I have seen. So thank you guys for watching this video.